Okay, this is Cape. Oh, this is KP4MD testing audio.
KP4MD, KN6QNJ.
Yeah, KN6QNJ's KP4MD. I've got the live stream started on YouTube. Over.
Copy. So good evening to everybody. This is James, KN6QNJ, your net control operator for the River City ARC Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.3030 megahertz. River City ARCS members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
Good evening, Alpha India 6 Delta Golf.
Alpha India 6 Delta Golf. Good evening, Joel. Next station who would like to check into the net, please come now. All right, well, Carol, I added you. So far it's AI6DG, KP4MD, and KN6QNJ. Any other check-ins? All right, well, AI6DG, are you ready to send a picture?
Actually not. I'm having some, in fact, I got to ask, are you sounding funny tonight, or do I just have something messed up on my end?
I could be sounding funny tonight. I might have to change microphones. What do you hear?
Kind of a funny tail squelch, low volume, and a bit of an echo or reverb.
I have a new Heil headset, which I'm experimenting with. I haven't had issues on VHF, UHF, but let me make a quick adjustment here. Hold on. I turned down the mic gain. Is this better, Joel?
No. The main issue is just the volume is just not there. But I also just updated the software for my headphones and had to restart the computer and reselect sound devices because I guess the update reinstalled the sound device drivers, so sound stuff could be messed up on my end also. I guess we both got changes, so we don't know for sure which of us that is. But that's why I was asking if anyone else also notices a difference, or if it's because if it's just me, then it's just me.
KP4MD, did you copy?
Yeah, I'm hearing everybody just fine here.
Well, as long as you can understand me, thanks, Carol. Then I could switch mics just to do an experiment, Joel. And I'm also not quite logged in for photo sharing. Carol, are you ready to share a photo?
Yeah, affirmative. I can go ahead and send one. I'll do PD 120.
Well, it came through very well. I do have a little bit of a line through the middle, which I'm sure could be caused by a station ID or something else. Well, that might be Mount Shasta, and I'm guessing that Carol, KP4MD, you may have taken that picture during your travels around the state over the weekend. By the way, Frank, W6NYX, welcome. We'll see you on YouTube. Joel, comments?
Well, I got to hand it to Carol for the traveling she did on Saturday. I mean, that must have been quite a effort. Thanks for dropping by the North Hill site. It was quite dark. I hope you got some good pictures because not much, even with shining her lights around, I don't think you got much in the way of light. But back to the picture. Last year in Shasta, not Hood, I don't think. Let's open and make this big. Do I see anything that looks familiar? Nope. And I'm not that familiar with those mountains anyway, so I'm just not sure what it is. But was it midday, early afternoon? God, oh, geez. Come on. what is this? Cars on the road. Don't recognize the road. I'm wondering, is this even California? Anyway, I guess I'm going to have to wait in here. Back to net, AI6DG.
AI6DG, a copy. By the way, how do I sound? I switched microphones.
And I also discovered I've got 4 different audio devices for the speakers in my headphones, the outputs to my headphones. So I don't know. I picked a different one, and you sound much better now. So I'm still not sure if it was you or me, but I've still got something funny going on my system. So maybe it's both of us. Maybe we both are messed up.
It very well could be, as long as we can understand each other, and Carol doesn't seem to be noticing, so I suppose maybe we're both okay. Well, Carol, tell us actually a little bit about your trip, because I saw in your note that you were driving at least 800 miles in 24 hours, and tell us about this picture.
Okay, yeah, this is, I can't tell you all about the trip because I would probably take a half hour to do that. That would be a whole presentation in itself. But I drove up Friday night to the town of Mount Shasta. When I got there, it was pretty dark. It was 9:30 or going on 10 o'clock, and couldn't really see anything at all. So it was so dark. Just pulled into the hotel and went to bed, and in the morning I got up, it was bright outside, got in the car, checked out, drove, I guess it was about half a mile north on what main street there is there. It's called Mount Shasta Highway or something. Then I turned right to go to the Mount Shasta Radio Club, and I saw this thing right in front of my face. It was in the windshield, and I was just so struck by how close this mountain is. It's 14,000 feet. It looms over this little picturesque resort town of Mount Shasta, and it's all quite majestic. It just, the natural beauty just really struck me, and I had to stop the car and just snap that picture right through my windshield. So yeah, I just had to go another couple blocks and turn right again to get to the clubhouse of the Mount Shasta Radio Club. So I think that's pretty awesome to live in a place where you just look down the street and you got that there all the time. That's 14,000 feet. It's quite an impressive mountain, and what can I say? I mean, I envy a lot of stuff that Joel puts on when he goes to Yosemite and stuff. I haven't been places like that. Now, this is something that I said, I just wanted to share this with you, since Joel's done such a good job of sharing these kind of natural pictures. So what do you say about that? Over to you, Joel. AI6DG KP4MD.
I guess I'm spoiled because I've seen things like this so often. But you say how close it is. And yeah, it seems close, but I bet that's a good 5 or 10 miles, if not more, away. I think it's a lot further than you think it is, because that mountain is huge. Yeah, I remember I've only been up 5 all the way up to Oregon once, and I remember just the I-5 seems to go all the way around it, and you've got that big thing in view on one side or another because you're kind of going around it for half an hour. It's crazy, and it looks pretty much the same size the whole way because you're going around it. But yeah, but yes, it is pretty. It does seem close. But that's one of the things that struck me about Anchorage when I was up there is this, how amazing the mountain views were, and they seemed like they were right there. You'd be driving around Anchorage and turn around a corner, and you get this amazing view straight down the road at some mountain range that it seemed like it was next door. Although, as I said, it's probably a lot further away than you think because it is so big. Back to net, AI6DG.
Thanks, Carol, KP4MD, and Joel, AI6DG. Well, it looked like a beautiful drive. It's obviously you didn't have as much time to enjoy it as you probably wish you had, but it's a really nice picture, and I can imagine that Joel is probably right. Even though it looks close, it's probably much farther away than we think it is. Any other comments, Carol, before we move to Joel?
I want to thank you again, this picture is a keeper, and I certainly wanted to share that with you. Alf has joined us, N6PRD, on the YouTube Live, and and also I want to say hi to Frank out there. So that's all, and back over to Net Controls, KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol, and hello, Alf, KN6PRD. AI6DG, are you ready to transmit a photo? That seemed to work.
PD120, sorry, it's a repeat from sometime in the past. I didn't have time to go find a picture, but I kind of like the picture. Here it is, PD120.
All right, Joel. Well, it looks like a picture of a hotel room looking at a Ferris wheel. Quality is very good. Dark colors, browns, reds, a little bit of yellow. Station ID signal across the top quarter. Carol, do you want to go ahead and describe what you see? And I'm guessing Las Vegas, maybe.
Phone. Okay, this is KP4MD. Yes, I think I've seen this picture once before. Looks like a picture out of a hotel room in Las Vegas looking at a Ferris wheel through the window. There's a kind of a yellowish, brownish colored drapes in front of the windows, and there's lampstand with a yellowish lampshade on it. In the lower left-hand corner, there's a looks like one of those uh, uh, lounge chairs, comfortable lounge chair, and a little table with a couple of magazines on it, right next to the armchair there, and AI6DG in the lower right-hand corner, and cloudy sky there. I think this is from Las Vegas because I think I might have seen this before. I don't know. Back to Nets, KP for MD.
MBK and 6QNJ. It does look like the colors remind me of the set in the Lucille Ball sitcom for some reason. So it looks really old, but it may not be that old. So Joel, AI6DG, can you tell us about this?
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is one I've sent before, but I kind of like this photo because it's nice to have been able to catch the inside light and the outside light. I caught it at the right time when the lighting between the two of them matched. But the color balance, the color temperature between the two is different. So you've got sunlight outside, and then you've got incandescent lighting inside. So that's why it looks a bit orange, I think. And yeah, I guess it does look a bit dated. This is in Bally's, probably not one of the best rooms at Bally's. So that's two dings against it. It's old and probably needs to be redone. In fact, Bally's is going to get rebranded to Horseshoe, so maybe they're going to spend some money and actually upgrade the rooms. But I've always had good luck, and even in what I'm assuming are cheap low-end rooms that have a decent view, and I thought this was a nice view, looking at the high roller Ferris wheel, which used to be the world's largest Ferris wheel, and now it's just the second largest, but it's still damn large. It's a 30-minute ride, and it goes really high up and gets you a nice view. And you're not sitting in little baskets. These are rooms that are probably, 15 foot around. You can actually do one thing where they include with the ride an all-you-can-drink bar. So how much can you drink in 30 minutes? I guess they assume that people aren't going to drink so much that they lose money, or maybe they just charge enough. Anyway, I hope they don't have too many problems with having to roll people out or at the end of that ride. But I did that once, and I caught it right as dusk was happening, so I kind of got a little bit of the daylight view, and then as the lights turned on, you got the great view of all the Las Vegas lights and a little bit of the Bellagio fountain show. So, yeah, I've had good luck with bad rooms because they still have great views in Las Vegas. Back to net, AI6DG.
I love that. Good luck with bad rooms. That's very good. Thank you, Joel. Any other comments, Carol or Joel, before I transmit a photo? Okay, I'm going to do a tone test. That seemed to work. Carol, can you confirm?
Yes, good, very good tone.
Okay, PD 120. Okay, well, not too much mystery here, but I'll ask Joel AI6DG to say what you see.
Well, we're looking down at your power setup. We got a PowerWorks power supply with the Anderson outputs coming out it. Looks like you've got one cable going off a picture to someplace and the other one going to a Mountain Radio Epic Power Gate, or I think that's the name of it. I've got one of those. I love it. And because it does solar, battery, power, and load, it handles all the three of them, or four of them together. And then behind to that, you've got a Biomo, I forget how you pronounce it, lithium battery as the battery for that setup. So all you're missing is the solar panel plugged in, and then you'd be ready for just about anything for your station. Power goes out, you still have power. Power goes out for a week, you still got power if you got solar charging the battery, and so forth. Back to net, AI6TG.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, I do need to get a solar panel. That's next on my list. Carol, KP4MD. I'm not sure what's there left to say, but feel free to weigh in, please.
Okay, this is KP4MD. I see the PowerWorks. Power, that's the switching power supply. I think it's the same one I have. It's a 30 amp one. That's the one that I bring with me when I go traveling and operate from the QTH down in the Caribbean. It's really light, and I use that to power my KX3 with the matching amplifier, which is the KX PA100. Does a wonderful job. Then you have a West Mountain Radio Epic Power Gate. So, yeah, I think Joel pretty much explained that. And it looks like you have a lithium battery hooked up there, I guess, to back up whenever your power drops out. It kind of switches automatically, if not, I'm not mistaken. I think that's, I would agree with that. Back to you, is KP4MD.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am happy with this power supply, and I thought about, for my Go kit, getting another one. One of the things that took me a minute to figure out on the power gate is I actually had to open it up and move a jumper to accommodate the lithium battery. It's comes set for lead acid, so when I first was using it, it wasn't fully charging the battery, and then I figured out with some help that I needed to open the unit up and move a little, from my perspective, microscopic jumper from one set of vertical wires to another. But I really like it, and it's what I used when I tried to earn points for the River City Arcs last weekend for field day for my 1E category, K&6QNJ. Any other questions about that?
The battery.
Go ahead.
So does that have charging circuitry in it? Do you need an actual external charger for that battery, or do you just supply it powder and the power management inside of it handles the charging?
Yeah, that power gate charges the battery, and also is the solar controller. When I get solar panels, I don't need to get another solar controller. It also handles that. So it handles the AC power and the solar and the battery all simultaneously. Since I took this picture, I also got a rig runner. So now my radio and antenna tuner are plugged into that, and as I accumulate more stuff, I'll be able to just plug right into the rig runner. So, but yeah, it handles the charging and the solar control.
Well, I know the Rig Expert, or the Power Gate does, because you can charge different chemistries USB to it, I think, and can actually program it for a lot of different configuration things. But I think the Dynamo batteries, the lithium batteries are getting really fancy. I mean, they used to be you had to have an external charger, and I think some of the fancier lithium iron phosphate batteries have actual chargers built into them that keep track of what the status is of each cell, and to charge each cell to its maximum and not overcharge it, not over discharge it. And you don't actually need an external lithium charger for those batteries. You just supply some voltage to it, and it figures out how to best bring up the charge on the batteries inside of it. In which case, the power gate would be somewhat extraneous. I mean, I don't know. I on my second marine deep cycle battery, because I keep burning them up, I guess sitting in the shack for years on and never really doing a deep cycle on them. Either I've got the charger configured wrong, or it's just not good for the batteries, or something else. So I'm considering getting a lithium pack the next time instead of the lead acid. Save about 50 pounds in weight and spend about 4 times more, but hopefully it would work better, but I need to research it.
Yes, your point is well taken. Yes, so the power gate really, in this setup, is really for switching. So when the power goes out, it automatically switches to the battery backup. I do think that I could plug the battery, I think you're right, I could plug the battery directly into the power supply and it would work as well. So you're right, the power gate in this setup is just for the automatic switching and just kind of the transfer of the power. But it does have a solar controller in it when I get a solar panel. Sort of appropriately and a little bit ironically, when I ran the Sacramento County AresNet Monday night, I had forgotten to switch off of battery power, so I ran the whole net on battery without a problem. But then later in the evening when I came in, the radio had shut off, so that I drained the battery. Anyway, I am happy with the battery. Yes, it's well, it may not be 4 times as much as a lead acid battery, but unless you're trying to get the exact same size. So this is a 15 amp BioNO, I think is what it's called. Any other comments or questions?
Hang on, I had something I wanted to say. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yes, the solar charger can throw out RFI. There's a little button next to the what's the blue light? The red button next to the blue light would disable charging, and that's actually I actually have had to use that on occasion because the solar charger part of it can actually generate RFI, and they do kind of say that in the manual. So they give you the option of disabling it or for a while if you're scanning the band and come across one of their generated spurs. So that's the only negative I've found on it. Back to Net AI6DG.
Oh, I hadn't gotten that far. Thanks for letting me know. Also, to your earlier point, you can see in the lower left corner there on the power gate, there's a little round plastic cover, and that's where you plug in the USB to do the programming. I looked at it, but I didn't make any changes. I just there was more there than I think I needed to deal with, but it is very sophisticated for those who want to make changes. But I did have to open it up and move that jumper for the lithium battery, again, which I didn't realize at first. So very interesting. And it works well. Okay, with that, I'm getting ready to close the net. Any last comments before I close the net? Okay, well, thanks AI6DG and KP4MD and our online visitors on YouTube, Frank W6NYX and Alf KN6PRD. thanks for everybody who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9. The net is officially closed at 9:37 p.m. This is James, Kilo November 6, Quebec November Juliet, wishing all of you a very good evening.